So I'm fixing to make some plastic worms. I haven't done this for several days now since that last video. I've been busy doing, actually went fishing. So we're gonna show how I make my Wacko worm with the hardcore. Talked about that the other day, but I wanted to touch on something else first. Had a couple comments. I had planned on doing a whole video on this anyway, so I'm gonna kind of start this one off this way. This may be its own video, I reckon. And that is, how much sense does this make making your own baits? Because truthfully, it's not cheap. Not really. There's ways to go about it. This is injected mold. You have to have the injector. You have to have this plastisol. You have to have colorant. You have to have glitter, whatever. You can take it pretty simple, or you can take it to way extremes. Since I'm trying to sell baits, I'm kind of taking it to an extreme. Now, the mold, the injection CNC mold for these Senko style worms right here is like $186 from Angling AI. So it's an investment. The mold you have to make my hardcore, to make your wacky wrap, is another $80. So you've pretty near got $300 in mold just to make one worm. And in theory, and a man mentions, how many worms will you go through in a year to pay for that? You won't. You can buy the junkiest Senko style worm at Walmart and go through a bunch of them and never come close to paying for about $500 worth of stuff just to make your first worm. Not far from it. Again, you can be cheap. You can find ways to cut corners. You can remelt old plastics, which does not work as well as you would hope. It does work one time. Another alternative is the molds that are hand pour. Make really pretty, and hand pouring is the oldest thing there is. It makes some really pretty baits. I bought this mold specifically for my wife to learn to pour. It's a really nice mold. Well, here's the molds. Again, these are CNC aluminum, but they're fairly reasonable. They're not expensive. Or you can go the old school route, and oh yeah, there's all kinds of synthetic and different molds. Like $25 or so where these molds start. It's hard to spend more than about 40 or 50 on a hand pour mold. You can do it, but it's hard to do. Other way I did it, way back in the day, made this one a couple winters ago. I got several of these, a plaster of Paris, my crawdads, my Guido bug style crawdads. So there's options, okay, y'all? But to make something like this is an expensive proposition. I decided a couple years ago I was going to start selling baits. When this idea came out, I said, well, I'm going to run with that one as my main bait I'm going to make. Of course, I'm making, like I said, the hand pours, whatever. And I haven't got all that started. I have not got my website done with all that yet. I wanted to point out the fact that not trying to deter anybody. Matter of fact, there's so many people getting into bait making. It's amazing. There's several forums. You can go to Facebook and type in soft plastic. You'll find guys like me on there sometimes, mostly complimenting the people that know how to do this better than I do. There's ways to do this. There's science to it. It's a learning curve. I poured my first soft plastics in a mold like this in 1981. Been doing it for a while. You can take anything in the world to a level beyond crazy. Kind of that's where I'm at. I'm fixing to buy some more molds. I just get started as a bait maker selling baits. I sold my first baits in the early 90s, but I'm just getting started. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to dial up the jigs. I'm getting ready to, I got a guy who wants some buzz bait stuff. I make a killer chatterbait. I've never bought a chatterbait. I've never bought a bladed jig in my life. I looked at them, come up with a design of my own. It works tremendously well, and I need to build some of those. The hard baits, the crankbaits, that's probably the cheapest way to get in lure making, because you buy the blanks, starting at $1 to $3 or $4 a piece. You have some spray paint and something clear to dip in. Of course, your hardware, your split rings, your hooks, and all that. Once you get going, that's probably the cheapest thing. I got some guys out there who got addicted to that, and probably going to get some divorces over that deal. I just want to touch base on that real quick. I'm fixing to do a video where I'm going to make these. I'm going to inject some of these with this hardcore. It's called a Wacky Wrap by Angling AI. I call it my hardcore because you have cool names for everything, or acronyms. I don't like acronyms. I don't like initials, letters. I don't like a lot of things. So I'm going to get started on these. I wanted to touch base. This will be a short little video. It'll probably come out just slightly before the other videos. So if you get them out of order, That's on you. I can't help it. God bless you guys. I'm fixing to pour me some plastisol. Pretty far out.